Hey guys, and welcome to 5 Minutes with ATMA. I've just had a nap and I'm feeling a little bit grumpy, so now it's probably a good time to talk about mental health. So I was kind of happy that people selected this one as a topic they'd like me to talk about, but at the same time, I know you want me to talk about it because I'm clearly a little bit crazy, and so obviously know quite a lot about mental health. I think when you think about mental health, the first thing that comes into people's minds is depression. And I think that, of course, that's the thing that gets spoken about the most, but mental health is kind of a all-encompassing term for the state of our mind and our mental well-being. And I think, I can only speak about this from my personal point of view. And I think for me, I view most things in life like a sine wave. It's just up and down and up and down. And I see that roller coaster as being symptomatic of existence and of being something that is necessary. Because the highest point can only be as high as the lowest point is low because they add context to each other. So, I don't run away or shy away from things like depression or anger or feeling like shit. And I feel shit as much as I feel good. So, I think that it's kind of a balancing act, and it comes down to about knowing yourself and knowing your states of mind and frames of mind. I think a lot of people run from things like depression, or they expect that they should be happy all of the time, or they even expect that they should feel like a baseline of normal for an extended period of time. But in my experience and in my mind, that doesn't exist. So if you do feel that way, congratulations. But I am quite thankful for the ups and downs, and I have like a mental breakdown like every day at like 11 a.m. and this kind of just my norm. But there are definitely a few things that help in overcoming negative moods or keeping your mental or well-being and state in a manageable level. Because in my experience, you've got the normal ups and downs, and then you've got like the catatonic, like you're fucked and there's no getting out of bed until you crawl out of that whole state, which I'm not sure that everybody experiences, but I am quite sure that most creative people experience this from time to time, and entrepreneurs and especially people who are under a lot of pressure trying to do things that might be difficult. And I think that state is usually, or the extent of the depression or negative feelings that you experience are usually due to a disparity or a disconnection from your personal ideals about who you should be and what life should be like versus the reality of who you are and how your life is. So if your ideal is over here and you expect this much from yourself, however your behavior or your way of life is down here, that gap is the extent in which you are going to be suffering on a day-to-day basis. So I think that the easiest things to keep a clean mind or a mental state of well-being are going to be around how well you look after yourself, how much sleep you're getting, super important, underrated, whether or not you're drinking regularly, what sort of people you're hanging out with, basically your inputs, what's coming into your life and how is that affecting you and your life. People always look at their outputs, people look at their outcome, like what am I achieving, what am I doing, blah, 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 but no one wants to look at their inputs and no one wants to compromise. So that's the first thing you got to look at. And I think that, it's just context. Like, we live in a pretty out there society in terms of being disconnected from nature and our own nature. And I think it's quite normal in a distorted world like ours to feel uncomfortable at times and to feel depressed at the state of affairs and the way that life is unfolding. But there's 7.7 billion people on the planet, and it's important to look outside of yourself sometimes, especially in the moments of despair. And I think that, being too attached to your ego self and thinking that that voice in your head is who you are is something that causes some unrest. Now, I've gone over 5 minutes, and I can keep going on this topic, but I'll stop now, and maybe I'll do another video later because I have some more to say about the topic. So let's say this is part 1. Peace out. Thank you.